Oh yeah, testing. 1 2 1 2. Heyo everyone, and welcome to the Exsto Athena series. I hope I'm talking loud enough over the music at the moment, but it's going to be a good day to close out Group 1 of everything. So thanks everyone for tuning in, obviously, and supporting the Game Changers scene within Oceania. I'm Karath. Camera will come up quite soon, and you'll either see my ugly face. But taking a quick look over at Group 1 standings, obviously Coven kind of taking first position at the moment, alongside with Shmimimi, both tied 3-0, and then the rest of the teams following afterwards as well. So we'll be closing out, once again, the round robin action after tonight. So I should have K-Man joining me later. It's just by myself at the moment, so it's a very lonely time at this stage, but it should be fine. It'll be all right. Thanks everyone for once again joining in and supporting this. So yeah, but yeah. So talking a couple about the matches yesterday. If you did manage to miss it, it was once again Coven as well as Shmimi taking a 3-0 victory repeated. Respectively. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how they're going to go later. I do believe that they still are yet to face each other on who's going to kind of come up first and second within the group later on tonight. But in terms of the games that we have, otherwise we have Rapid, Brat Division, Fearless, as well as Poofy Pandas filling out the rest of Group 1. So but for the games tonight, we'll have Coven as well as against the Brat Division, and we'll be also looking a little bit later at Poofy Pandas up against Brat Division as well. So it'll be nice to kind of follow once again the team for tonight and to kind of see how everything's going. So not sure what else I can add on to it in terms of outside of the map veto, which I do believe we're just currently waiting for the teams to jump into the lobby at the moment. But in terms of the first map that we're going to be seeing, it's going to be Ascent. So managing to kind of come back towards all the way into the very beginning once again. And I'm hoping that that I have more things to say eventually when my brain comes up with it. But yeah, it should be good. Obviously, $1,500 in prize pool for the top 3 teams. A lot of experience as well being gathered by a lot of the teams as well as they're playing through today. Whether or not they make it through the round robin or not, I think the whole part of the reason why the Exto Athena series is so important is because it is giving a lot of people
Hello everyone and welcome to the Exsto Athena series. It's good to be getting back into things for 2025, and this is an exciting event because of course Game Changers Split 1 has just happened, but we didn't get to see any of the teams, but we will be seeing them here today.
Posey is there. Yours has been made. Posey, 1. Can you find 2? Posey finds 2, finds 3. Through screens, not playing shot. Finds the first pick on. Finds the second on Chisel, and this could be interesting now. Between Echo and he found the third.
Might actually be an opportunity. Spamming through this for Archie would probably go down to just 2 bullets. She's swinging forward. Oh no, she hasn't even gotten the ace. She's lost the round. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's a kill onto Grey Cutie and another. Okay, this Skyris getting it all done.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Player, flash down, needs to get one. Chisel does get it, and it's a 2v2 situation. Fungi looking for the ace somehow. A Tsunami is dead. Chisel
Hello everyone and welcome back into the Exto Athena series. I'm joined once again by Diggsy. We're running it back to back. We should be getting into the first match between Coven as well as BDE very soon. I do believe we're just waiting on one of the coaches. But good morning, Diggsy. I heard you just that you just woke up. Oh, okay. No. Okay, so hang on. Hang on. I know exactly what it is. Toski, you need to. I'm sorry to say this on stream, but you need to move me out of the standby waiting room on video. That would be why. Unless for the. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It looks like we were just having a little bit of I was just talking in towards the Nether Realm over there, but everything should be working. Hello, welcome back towards the Exto Athena series. Now we should be shortly jumping into the game between Coven as well as BDE. I'm joined by Diggsy as well. We're throwing it back from yesterday. How are you going so far this morning?
Yes, sir. I was actually on a way to somewhere, but unfortunately, that somewhere decided that I was going to be canceled for a little bit. So we are now actually back in today. Don't worry, you're not going to be solo casting today. I'm going to be bringing in the hype and going to bring in turning up the heat and everything all at once. But day one has been a blast, and I can't wait to see what we got for day two, despite just having 2 games.
Yeah, I'm really, really keen, obviously, just to see kind of like the end of Group 1 at the moment. A couple of games, everyone most likely already saw what the Group 1 standings were already, with Coven as well as Shmimimi out on top. But right now, still a couple of positions to be contested, obviously, for a $1,500 prize pool, which is no small amount of money, honestly. I wish I had that much amount of money to play Valorant, but it is what it is, I guess. But starting off the first map, we are going to be jumping onto Ascent pretty soon. Yeah, we saw a little bit of Coven yesterday, but we haven't really seen too much of BDE just yet. How much do you know about BDE here, Diggsy?
In terms of BDE, I'm currently only familiar with one player at the moment, which is going to be Malachi Chu. They're currently very outgoing in terms of like being able to lock into any type of role that they want to get into. Know them for just being a sub in one of the teams that are currently in the tournament in the form of Eternal Valor Esports, and just been on limbo for quite a bit, and now they're here to actually prove themselves in Brat Division Esports, and we'll see what they can actually provide in this team comp that they decided to just pull off, and it turns out to be Killjoy.
Yeah, so obviously taking a look at the team comps over here in Ascent, we should be expecting to see kind of like the stock standard. I was going to say stock standard, actually. BDE using the Sky Breach combo, which is obviously a lot of flashbang coverage, a lot of blind effects. Waiting to see what Coven really respond with. We do have at least, okay, it should be the Sova and the Teho, but I am a little bit more used to seeing, I think, like the Sova and the Breach combo a little bit more than the Sova and the Teho. So I'll be intrigued to see how this goes. There's only one source of blind that's coming out from Coven, so they're going to have to rely a lot more on the game deals as opposed to just straight out utilizing kind of like utility and making their way into sites.
I believe you're right there. It's a lot of tweaking around when it comes to the usual OG, like let's just say OG team comps back when Teo and other agents weren't around back then. It's going to be interesting to see on how everyone just plays this off in terms of again, Fungi back in the Teo again. I'm not sure if they've been familiar with it since the last previous maps. I believe this is going to be our first Ascent map that we're going to be covering today. But it's just going to be interesting because Teo is pretty much in towards like newer side and how they pretty much pull out their salvos to begin with, or is it going to be before execute or after executing for during post plants? I don't know. There's so many interactions you can go here for the side of Sonali's team and Fungi.
Yeah, so it just looks like a slow shift walk up here on towards the A site right now. So but the spike has been left behind, so it makes me feel like Coven are just setting up and kind of seeing if they can probe a little bit before they do fully commit in. We did see this a little bit in Haven yesterday. It does look like there's a dash in. Alarm bots is going to be triggered out, and Malachi, unfortunately, is going to be taken down by the guided salvo over there. They still need to go back and grab the spike, but it's a 5-4 here.
Oh, just like that is now a 4v4. Cartel now going down to Comcast. Doors are now being broken and open shut. Drone's going to be having to detect everyone, including Asuna Sonali, taking in a headshot. Going in there, Barbie taking everyone down, and just like that, Comcast, the lone player, gonna have to go down to Barbie, just like that.
Yeah, a couple of clean entries over there coming out on the side of Coven, which we do know a lot of these players are actually quite sharp, so not going to be too worried about that.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting on how they would approach their pistol there. I was still trying to rack my brain on how they would approach their pistols. Was the execution too early, too late in there? We know Ascent is kind of just like a small mid-range type of map, easy to rotate to. And then we got Barbie lurking in towards the end for Coven Esports. And it looks like it's going to be a free A-side take here. Rest of Brat division gonna have to go for a rotate. And a little bit of time gonna be played here for their post plant. Everyone's alive so far, except from the skirmish that just happened. Comcast now gonna be going down.
Yeah, I mean, Barbie's got a pretty easy job over here, like holding on towards the lurk. Does decide just to fall off, just to make sure they're not really giving away another Guardian. It needs to be cautious because obviously there's a couple of CT members. Malachi is just trying to play a little bit cheeky over here, but the sound has been heard over here, so going to be shot down pretty easily from there. Oh, Paisley, nice little sheriff shot, but unfortunately Milky Way is going to fall at the same time. Paisley does do a little bit more damage to the sheriff, but at this point, it's only just going to be some chip damage into the economy. It's not really going to be anything that's going to be round changing. And Sabi is just going to decide to go down into the spike as well, just to make sure that they've got the full economy coming to the next round.
Just like that, second pistol or second round. Now going to the side of Coven Esports, Brat division, yet to pour another round for themselves. Athena, Malachi, and Milky Way kind of been off at the back end in there towards their score line here. Not a lot to work with, but it looks like they're going to be having full guns for this round compared to the side of Covens.
Ooh, okay, nice little shot coming out from Campcast. Yeah. Nice little shot coming out from mid over there. So it is a bit of a bonus round. Campcast, or Neo, should I say, going back a little bit more. That dart, very intriguing, apparently just did not scan as it landed on a pixel over. And Milky Way is just going to be scouring the galaxy right now, spotting out a few things. But still, it's going to be Coven gearing up for this A-side hit right now. One split over here towards short, as well as two towards A-long.
This is not a familiar sight to see. This is the first time we've seen that this team, Coven Esports, is down a Teo. It's going to be a 5v4, 50 seconds remaining. Spike has not been down yet. And it looks like they're still poised. Campcast going down to the headshot of Barbie. Paisley now doing a skirmish on themselves right down in mid. 37 seconds remaining. Still, Spike has no way to be pushed in yet. But Carino already deep into side. This could be the gateway that they can provide. Milky Way almost there. Barbie's going to have to use the neural link. Going down to Malachi, though. Sonali and the rest of the squad are going to be having to fight a 3v3. Sabi posted up at the heaven site. We'll see if it goes well with them. Sabi takes one. Oh, goes down from the help player. Carino is now down to Malachi. It's now down to a 1v2. Will it go in their favor? Carino gets a swing and takes their third kill.
Yeah, 3-0 at the moment. So Coven just converting that bonus round as well, just on the back of that retake. We're very, very solid, or the retake hold, should I say. Just coming down to a couple of nice crossfires, maybe just a little bit disjointed on the side of BDE, as there were just a couple of good flashes actually to get way back into short. I think Milky Way is very unfortunate not to convert on that kill. Some of the utility usage has been good so far. Just need to convert a little bit more on the back of the execution over there. So back onto a bit of a half buy. Just a little bit of information gathering over here towards the A site so far, but Spike is being held over there at Sonali, so it still could end up at the A site over here later, Diggsy.
All right, Carino now deep way into mid. It could be a first contact with Sabi here. There we go. We have the peak, and there you go, Carino with that first kill. And now it is a 4v5. Will it work in their favor here? Fungi gonna have to dip and dodge real quick. Carino getting a safe haven down at Hell.
Yeah, Spike's going to go down here pretty uncontested right now, especially with the guided salvo holding off. And they were very well aware that potentially there was a little bit more danger over there at A main, especially in the back of the Sky Flash that was dodged earlier by Sonali. So now Malachi needs to break the door, but is not aware, obviously, of Fungi being in that position over there. And it should be a relatively clean cleanup from here, honestly. This is a flawless round coming out from Coven. Making it look a little bit too easy on these attacking side so far, but they've come in ready to play.
Coven actually performing a very clinical round towards that side. No one from Brat Division Esports are trying to figure out. They're trying to figure out where everyone are, but it looks like they're always just going in for a bit of a dry swing, bit of a 50-50 Hail Mary to see like where everyone would be, and it's sadly not going towards their favor. They need to get it all in, get it all collected. And I believe this timeout is actually well versed for that one. But if you're Brat Division, what would you do in this instance anyway? You there, Karen?
Yeah, I'm just like trying to figure out on exactly what BDE needs to do over here, right? Because it's like, do you need to put like more numbers over here towards short? Do you need to like stack more towards mid? It's like a tricky question to answer because, because the problem is right now, Coven's just been essentially exploiting this A side. They haven't even explored towards the B side of things just yet. They're just hitting the same thing mid. They're hitting towards A. A short has been a huge weakness point. And the question is, like, as BDA, like, what do you really do to grab control of this? All right, the Sky and the Breach flashes are going to be really, really solid, but I don't think you can do much more beyond that, right? Like, yes, you can blind, but but short is such a hard area to play because you can't really find into mid well.
So, Malachi can be a very pivotal switch here if you know that they keep picking and prodding it towards A side.
Yes.
And you know they're latting in there. Maybe just like switch over.
Well, that's why Pasley's like they pulled Pasley over here, right? So
well, we'll see if it actually works in for them. Carino back in towards mid. Milky Way might be the first contact here. Might see some pixels. There we go. There goes the peak. Then again. Still a little bit of a skirmish. Now they have the info that they need on where Coven Esports are. Camcast. Still a little bit, peeking out there towards mid-side and getting a long-range hit there from way downtown.
A lot of responsibility now on Malachi, just holding on to this position. Has heard a couple of footsteps, so surely should be hearing a couple of rotations coming forward. The turret's going to be broken over here. Malachi needs to go absolutely huge, but unfortunately, Carino just a bit too sharp.
It's a little good
entry. In the meantime, Neo is just going to be holding on, but the problem is Smoke's going to be securing CT. Now it's going to be everyone trying to flood in afterwards.
Is it better on your side?
Late. So 5 and 4, they might be tempted actually to just save here for the economy.
That might be the case here, but it could be or it could be not. We'll have to wait and see. Camcast getting out of market. Have to be located. Milky Way takes down Barbie. Cortal takes down Camcast and do it to the end. It is now a 3v4. Spike is midway to its countdown. Drone gonna have to be used, and so are the salvos. Savi camped in towards the A main side, and it looks like it's going to be a save here for the side of BDE. Paisley taking down Sonali, but not for a trade with Carino. Gonna have to end a save here with a 2v3, but that's not going to bode well for BDE at the moment. Score is now 0-5 in favor of Coven Esports.
Yeah, I like that save call, though, coming out. At least a bit of an attempt in terms of the retake, not really putting all their eggs in the basket, and they realized the guided salvo just delayed the stairs push. And even through lane, there was like really nothing they could do further from there. Obscured by smoke, no flashes, or no flash points to go on the back of, meant they might as well just save the rifles into the next one, try to keep their economy relatively honest, and keep fighting into it. So now the pressure is going to come out towards the B side over here. Malachi's got a lot of, once again, duties to kind of hold on right now.
Well, we'll see if it works in their favor. It's a bit of an A-side swing so far, but Malachi going in way too deep, getting to the crosshairs of Fungi and the rest of the crew. Milky Way takes down Barbie at least, so both teams are Sentinels down. But Camcast, gonna have to be stuck in market with the salvos, including with their smoke. And just like that, it's a free B plant site. Two posted up in boathouse. Gives them a good advantage on where people could be. Cartal in a very good position there. Paisley and Milky Way might be in danger. There goes the shot, but Milky Way takes down Cartal instead. It is now down to a 4v3. BDE for a change are in a man advantage. Will it work in their favor? No! Sonali and Fungi gets the kills on their own, and it's now down to Sabi. Gonna have to face some salvos. Will it hit them? No, but it's gonna be the swing. And just like that, Carino takes the final kill. And it's gonna be 0-6 in favor of Coven Esports. It is not going well so far for BDE here. A lot of ground to cover, a lot of rounds that need to be put in as we approach halfway of our first half.
Yeah, interesting. I was gonna say, interesting to see Paisley actually opt for the operator over here, given obviously the fact that there is a Blade Storm ready. But the economy is just all in shambles right now for BDE. They're trying something a little bit different over here. I don't know if it's going to work though. It's going to be a probe back towards the A site.
An operator could be a shakeup that this team needs, but you need to lock in your shots. Paisley not rocking any shields at all. Could be tricky for them. Gonna have to play a bit of a jet dash in there, but Milky Way takes down, takes two, takes three. But nope, getting taken down by Fungi. And takes down who takes down Campcast as well. Just like that, it's a 3v3 once again. Bit of a familiar sight. But Barbie knows where Malachi is, and there you go. It is now a 2v2 now. Paisley making use of that op that you were mentioning earlier. Will it work for them? They now have access to their Blade Storm. Could work for them in the close range, mid-range. Gonna have to come to a dash here. Probably not. Salvo's gonna put them way back and takes down Paisley too. Down to 39 HP. Here goes some Hail Mary swing. Carino takes down the other player as well. It's now a 1v1, but not enough time possibly for their spike here. But now almost going towards their favor, BDE, but nothing is budging towards their favor, sadly. Coven Esports now rock.
For BDE to really try to secure one of these rounds. Exto over here. I felt like Milky Way's been quite sharp so far. Obviously, Paisley as well was able to get a couple of operator kills, and the Bladestorm kill onto Hell was absolutely clean onto Fungi. But it's just these little parts right now where they're getting picked apart by a team that I would say has a little bit more competitive experience, understanding the lurk timings, especially Barbie. We saw Barbie's lurk timings were fantastic yesterday. She's been really on point with understanding how to kind of take this space, especially on a map like Ascent. So,
well, I believe Malachi here would actually try to just gather their composure a bit and actually try to hang back, because most of these aggro pushes, even at the defense side, are actually being punished, whether it's in the lurk timings by Barbie, as you mentioned earlier, or at least just play a more a laid back role with a lot of the times that they are trying to get their multi kills are in a lot of off angles, yes, but the most common off angles that you would most likely see in your normal day-to-day game of Valorant. Obviously not working towards her favor here for Malachi, but I believe that they can pull it off now that they have access to their lockdown, and with a of Coven Esports, they now have 4 ultimates remaining. And BD has their 3. And what could the round look like forward with these ultimates?
I think the question is, I mean, for Coven over here, obviously you're going to look to initiate on the back of maybe the Hunter's Fury just finding a mark over here, or the Bladestorm just dashing in on the back of Carino. I think the question is, do you want to use a Rolling Thunder as a way of initiating and gaining a map control for BDE, or if you want to use it for retake? Because as you pointed out, the lockdown is ready right now alongside with the Rolling Thunder. So these are going to be a lot more. You can easily see a Rolling Thunder just instantly take out most of B site on this retake. So maybe do you lean a little bit further back? You play defensive over here. We've seen Malachi play initially aggressive close up towards B main, maybe deciding to fall back a little bit more and play towards CT instead, and just playing reactionary, because there's nothing really. And then that goes into the next layer of interaction, right? Is that do you decide to use the lockdown after the Hunter's Fury, or do you try to use it during Hunter's Fury? Or like try to bait out the Hunter's Fury and then use a Rolling Thunder to kind of knock the Hunter's Fury out. So a lot of different questions on how you can opt to respond. And I mean, even Aftershock, I think stops Hunter's Fury, does it not?
Yeah. In a way, I believe at least that you can actually Hunter's Fury can actually just be. I'm not too sure at the moment.
I can't remember if I feel like Rolling Thunder does, but I can't remember if Fault Line does. That's the whole thing. Obviously, Aftershock will, because he'll kill you. But Fault Line, I can't remember exactly the interaction, because it's been a while since I played with the Breach.
Yeah.
And a Breach that's able to hit their skill shots. So
yeah. Well, unfortunate on that one. Sorry to hear that, but at least what it can do is like really put you off of your position in Hunter's Fury, because I believe in Hunter's Fury you can still move before hitting those shots. We'll try to hang back a bit and try to see and how this team comps of Coven Esports and both BD has been played off. We'll hang back a bit, but we'll have a good check on like how they played so far. In terms of what we've seen so far in these rounds, is the team comp going well and towards the play style that each player had chosen, or does it need to be tweaked for their side?
We'll have to wait and see. We are going back live into it. So we'll see how we go overall. Bit of a long tech pause. Thank you to everyone for waiting once again. Coming back into it, 7-0 over here. Fungi is just going to be droning straight out in towards the B side. And Malachi is actually playing on site over here. Actually, Util's been disabled close up.
Gonna be taken down by some of those with the salvos. Alarm bot in prime position to be detecting anyone that's going to be popping in through. no Nano Swarms available now, and just like that, Paisley is down, and Barbie is down as well, but Lockdown gonna be used here for Malachi. Oh, but it's getting taken down by Fungi. And Lockdown is destroyed as well. B-side. Now free for the taking for Coven Esports. 3v3.
Yeah, very difficult as well. One closer, posted close towards market. If the dog's able to find, or looks like Wolf isn't able to actually find the player close over here, so out comes the guided salvo, and still Cartel is just holding on to this angle right now. Sabi, deep Sky Flash doesn't pick up anything. Now, finally they push through, but Cartel is just going to Shadow Step out of there. Not the greatest Shadow Step, but Sonali is going to bail a teammate out. And it's all down towards Neo right now, just trying to see what damage they can do, but it's going to be overwhelmed eventually. She's going to fall to Carino, who's just been dropping kills left, right, and center.
Ooh. Again, like, despite a long tech pause, still, Coven Esports coming in hot. Still have access to their Hunter's Fury. And still has access to their Neuralink and Omen ult as well. Bladestorm are now available. Fungi is just one kill or one ult orb away for their Armageddon. Yeah, it looks like no ults needed to be used towards that round. It's just pure aim. BDE still being picked apart here in this map of Ascent. Malachi still performing that same setup. Could possibly be going towards their favor. Spike is posted at A site though. Not going to be contested a little bit. Carino takes down Sabi.
She's been so sharp, honestly. 14-0-4 at the moment. Exactly what you want one of your duels to have impacts on. Malachi going to be tested once again over here towards the B site. Looks like from the shadows is going to be used as well just to bring the Omen over here. They're just going to leave Fungi over here on the lurk this time around. And Malachi trying to hold on, but just too many members over here swarming on the site. And now the rotation is going to begin forward in earnest, but 3-on-5.
Ooh, 3-on-5. Now it's Milky Way going to be having to exit market side. Oh, Paisley's down at least, but Neo getting one for the trade as well. 2v4 now turning into a 1v4. It's just gonna be down to Neo now. Depends on who swings first. The 1-2-3 comes out, but doesn't be able to find its target. Neo being very slippy with it. But that is not going to be the play to save the round and come in for that defuse. Might be coming in for a save round here. You know where Sova is. But again, Coven Esports is still being very dominant in this game that we have in Ascent. It's going to be tricky in towards that end for them. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to give everything a good lock for the side of BDE. Malachi's going to be supported here by Paisley. See if we can get frags that way. Paisley really deep in towards that side. Drone going to take him down, but Sonali takes out Malachi instead. Paisley, almost getting stunned, but it's gonna be tricky now for the Carino. Waits even towards that side and takes down Camcast and takes one Milky Way to a slither of health, eventually giving them the kill. Bit of a slippy situation there, and it's now down to Sabi, the lone player remaining for BDE. Oh, blind is not enough, and Carino very slicky with it. Carino still yet has to die. 17-0-4 is the scoreline for this incredible jet. If you are a fan of Coven Esports, Carino will be the person that you are really rooting for. But if you are BDE, you're gonna have to give a whole lot of energy towards their end.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, honestly, for BDE to get around into here. Just unfortunately unable to really get any headings into any of these rounds. So far, they're trying a couple of different adaptations, but the problem is just these flashbangs aren't finding the mark so far, and this drone usage has been absolutely clinical coming out from Fungi most of these times. Surely they need to get the trades over here. Finally, Pasley is able to get out of there as well. A 1-for-2 trade is going to come out on top. BDE finally have the advantage in one of these rounds, but they're losing this mid control, and now Milky Way is going to be tested here.
Ooh, deep into spawn. They know where they are now. Milky Way down to 19 HP. Still has access to the utility, though. Gonna have to hang back and possibly not engage into a lot of gunfights. Nano Swarms are already being used for Malachi Chu here. And just like that, Malachi gets one, and Rolling Thunder is going to be used. Sonali deep into sight, and just like that, BDE finally secures the round that they need. 1-10. Favorite Coven Esports, but BDE have their hopes up with that round, with that one round that they just won.
Yeah, I mean, really, really good use once again on the back of the utility. Malachi just biding time, waiting, gets the critical kill on the low HP member. And then obviously the Rolling Thunder comes through then from Milky Way. And not to mention, right, Pasley with a huge 3-piece. Gets the 2 earlier on at short, then comes through and cleans up that action over at mid later on. So BDE, they strike on the board. But still, there's a bit of utility over here that they have to navigate now. Still got Hunter's Fury out. You still obviously got Armageddon out. And now Malachi's going to be tested here on the B side. Dashing straight in by Carino, who's trying to do her best to try to drop a 20-piece at the moment. We'll pull out the Blade Storm as well.
Ooh. Malachi very, very tested there towards that. And Carino, obviously way sharper. Gonna have to hang out in boat house here. Again, Coven Esports conveniently and confidently taking their B side here, and as you would, Barbie takes down the Milky Way with a headshot off their own Sabi. Gonna have to go for a recon flash here, but taken down by Sonali instead. Camcast, the lone player remaining, and Armageddon gonna have to be used on them, but Carino takes them down with a Bladestorm knife instead.
Yeah, 11-1.5. It's really just been the Coven show so far. I mean, they are inside, they are like currently 3-0. They are one of the top performers inside Group 1. And this is one of the reasons why. But that being said, BDE, we do know that they're a bit of a newer team. They are practicing a little bit. This is obviously their first tournament together, as far as I know, for a lot of these members. So it is a good learning experience on how to kind of improve together as a team. Let's get onto their own attacking side. Let's see what they have for the executes. Obviously, a pistol round to play with at the very least.
The pivotal player here for BDE at the moment, if they want to get some of their rounds back, is definitely Paisley. We've seen how they perform in their defensive rounds so far, getting a good 3-piece and showing a bit of versatility on how they play their Jet and how they play their Agent. Carino versus Paisley. Oh, Carino sees Paisley but takes down Camcast instead. Well, it's just like that. BDE down to a 4v5, down a player already. Drone gonna have to be dodged into here. Cortal and Milky Way getting picked up for the trade. Oh, and Fungi takes down Paisley instead, and now it's down to Malachi and Sabi here. Oh, still a trade managed to happen. Oh, and Sabi, despite having a good swing of where people are, gonna have to be taken down last. But it is now match point. 1 round remaining. Just for Coven Esports to take the win. Mental probably must be tested here if you're in the side of BDE. But as you mentioned before, this is a whole learning experience for them, I believe.
Yeah, I think you take it a lot more. I wouldn't say the mental's completely destroyed by this one. I think you're versing a very strong team in Coven over here. You take what you can learn out of this one, which is like sometimes with like the utility layering over here, it's going to be like one of the things that you're going to get better over time, right? As your initiators play a lot more together, they understand how to lay the flashes in, they understand kind of how to take the territory together. It's one of the parts of, I said it a lot yesterday, but I'll say it again today, part of the journey on kind of your competitive track, so to speak. Just being able to figure out, oh, okay, this is when we're going to do. So you can see the paranoia's out, coming straight out. And unfortunately, the tripwire, though, means that Barb is going to pick up another one coming out from the Guardian. Still going to be looking to try to take down some of these players, but Pasley has slipped the net so far. For the Shadow Step, though, not great, but Milky Way does get the trade.
It is now a 2v4. Barbie doing everything that they could to capture everyone in here. It's not going to be Salvi, the lone player. And unfortunately, not enough. And just like that, Coven Esports with a dominant lead against BDE, 13-1, taking their win in the first game of day 2.
Yeah, now going up 4-0 inside the group as well. Really, really well played from Coven. I think just another day at the office for them is what we'd say, just rocking up into the server and doing what they needed to do. But on the side, obviously, for BDE, still a good showing in terms of the round that they grabbed. It's also showing composers throughout the entire thing to stay competitive in it as well, in terms of, okay, cool, we're losing right now, but what can we actually do? There's a lot of rounds that they were actually trying to adapt as well. They were trying to go, okay, we're losing to this, we should move these pieces around and try to do this to try to counteract that. So it wasn't the case of them just going, okay, we're just going to kind of fall over and die and not really do anything. A lot of like micro adjustments, and that's exactly what I want to see. They'll be able to tighten up more over time, understanding how to use these flashbangs and like the flashes and the blinds and the utility to assist some of these entries in. But this is going to be something that comes with more repetition as well as gameplay. So
I believe so, and you are definitely right. A lot of the issues that came from BDE, on top of possibly like winning the mechanical duels, are just the ability sequencing of how everything goes so far, on how each combo ability tend to go well with each other when you're attacking a site or when you're defending the spike post plant, and again, like it's your first tournament if you're BDE, and I say like if you have what it takes, I think you just take it on the chin. Look forward to the next game that you're going to be having, and just possibly just chill with the crew, have a watch party, decide on what snacks that you want to pull up. Preferably, I'm a bit of a nachos guy myself, if not pizza.
Play out some of the nachos, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for BDE, it's once again, I keen to see like a little bit more when they're versing a team that I would say it's like a little bit more equivalent on the level. And I think we're going to be seeing that next when they're taking on Poofy Pandas. If I remember, that's the correct matchup. I think that's going to be a little bit more of an accurate assessment when you have two teams that are just starting up their journeys right now and like looking to kind of like improve. I think this is going to be a much better gauge of where they're going to be, where they're going to go, and those kind of things. But yeah, I think that was like very much a case of a good example of kind of, look, there's a lot of things that you can still improve and take from that experience. It's not just, oh, this team just got deleted, there's nothing I can learn from it, etc., etc. Like I said, spacing is a huge thing. Understanding like layering of utility and things like that. I've already started seeing, as I said earlier, the adaptations in terms of some of the rounds and trying to read what was going ahead one round ahead. And this is going to be very beneficial as they come forward, as they play more and more. They're going to understand, okay, this is how I'm going to counter it. This is what I'm going to do. So yeah, really, really keen to see more of BDE and looking forward to them in the next match.
Oh, I agree with that, and I agree with that indeed. And this coming matchup with Poofy Pandas for them, what are you? We did see Poofy Pandas and how they played before. Definitely a vibes versus vibes a team, but I'm assuming it right. But in this upcoming matchup, what are you kind of looking forward to seeing now that we've seen both teams in action for the past 2 days?
Yeah, look, I'd still say, like, obviously a little bit of good vibes, but both teams are still looking to take it quite seriously, obviously, in terms of this. For Poofy Pandas, they definitely want to grab one on the board, and obviously for BDE, you want to try to make it two in terms of your total win count as well. So it's going to be one of the ones where I'm hopeful to kind of see how it's going to go. Like I said, it's a little bit more of an equivalent matchup, and I think that's going to be a lot more telling for me. Once it's a more equivalent matchup, there's going to be a bit of there's more strats that we can see, a little bit more that the teams can actually do against each other versus when you're versing one of the. I'd say like this is like Coven is a team that's looking to push and probably make their way into the prize pool, if not into the top 3, top 4 of the game changer scene. So that's the way you kind of have to look at it a little bit. So,
well, it is a bit of a refreshing sight that we'll be able to see and expose ourselves to new players and new teams. And I believe we're going to be popping in for a break anytime soon. And so if anyone watching over there, don't go anywhere. And I believe we'll be having game 2 for you ready soon.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Exsto Athena series. It's good to be getting back into things for 2025, and this is an exciting event because of course Game Changers Split 1 has just happened, but we didn't get to see any new teams, but we will be seeing them here today.
Posy is there. Yours has been made. Posy, 1. Can you find 2? Posy finds 2, finds 3. Through screens, not playing shot. Finds the first pick on. Finds the second on Chisel, and this could be interesting now. Between Exsto and
Might actually be an opportunity. Spamming through this for Archie would probably go down to just 2 bullets. She's swinging forward. Oh no, she hasn't even gotten the ace. She's lost the round. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's a kill onto Ray Cutie and another. Okay, this Skyris getting it all done.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Player, flash down, needs to get one. Chisel does get it, and it's a 2v2 situation. Fungi looking for the ace somehow, and Sonali is dead. Chisel gets free, and that's a 2v1 situation. It's all up to Fungi. Has to find the crossing. He has to go for the right click. He's going for the right click. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm losing my voice.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Exsto Athena series. It's good to be getting back into things for 2025, and this is an exciting event because of course Game Changers Split 1 has just happened, but we didn't get to see any new teams, but we will be seeing them here today.
Posy is there. Yours has been made. Posy, 1. Can you find 2? Posy finds 2, finds 3. Through screens, not playing shot. Finds the first pick on. Finds the second on Chisel, and this could be interesting now. Between Exsto and
Might actually be an opportunity. Spamming through this for Archie would probably go down to just 2 bullets. She's swinging forward. Oh no, she hasn't even gotten the ace. She's lost the round. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's a kill onto Ray Cutie and another. Okay, this Skyris getting it all done.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Player, flash down, needs to get one. Chisel does get it, and it's a 2v2 situation. Fungi looking for the ace somehow, and Sonali is dead. Chisel gets free, and that's a 2v1 situation. It's all up to Fungi. Has to find the crossing. He has to go for the right click. He's going for the right click. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm losing my voice.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Exsto Athena series. It's good to be getting back into things for 2025 and this is an exciting event because of course Game Changers Split 1 has just happened, but we didn't get to see any new teams, but we will be seeing them here today.
Posy is there. Yours has been made. Posy, 1. Can you find 2? Posy finds 2, finds 3. Two screens, not putting shot. Finds the first pick on. Finds the second on Chisel. And this could be interesting now. Between Exsto and
Might actually be an opportunity. Spamming through this for Archie would probably go down to just 2 bullets. She's swinging forward. Oh no, she hasn't even gotten the ace. She's lost the round. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's a kill onto Ray Cutie and another. Okay, this Skyris getting it all done.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Player, flash now, needs to get one. Chisel does get it, and it's a 2v2 situation. Fungi looking for the ace somehow. And Sonali is dead. Chisel gets free, and that's a 2v1 situation. It's all up to Fungi. Has to find the crossing. He has to go for the right click. He's going for the right click. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm losing my voice.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Exsto Athena series. It's good to be getting back into things for 2025 and this is an exciting event because of course Game Changers Split 1 has just happened, but we didn't get to see any new teams, but we will be seeing them here today.
Posy is there. Yours has been made. Posy, 1. Can you find 2? Posy finds 2, finds 3. Two screens, not putting shot. Finds the first pick on. Finds the second on Chisel. And this could be interesting now. Between Exsto and
Might actually be an opportunity. Spamming through this for Archie would probably go down to just 2 bullets. She's swinging forward. Oh no, she hasn't even gotten the ace. She's lost the round. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's a kill onto Ray Cutie and another. Okay, this Skyris getting it all done.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Oh my god!
Player, flash now, needs to get one. Chisel does get it, and it's a 2v2 situation. Fungi looking for the ace somehow. And Sonali is dead. Chisel gets free, and that's a 2v1 situation. It's all up to Fungi. Has to find the crossing. He has to go for the right click. He's going for the right click. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm losing my voice.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Exsto Athena series. It's good to be getting back into things for 2025 and this is an exciting event because of course Game Changers Split 1 has just happened, but we didn't get to see any new teams, but we will be seeing them here today.
Posy is there. Yours has been made. Posy, 1. Can you find 2? Posy finds 2, finds 3. Two screens, not putting shot. Finds the first pick on. Finds the second on Chisel. And this could be interesting now. Between Exsto and
Might actually be an opportunity. Spamming through this for Archie would probably go down to just 2 bullets. She's swinging.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the Exto Athena series. We have a bit of a hot swap as well. We finally do have K-Man back, or here for the first time this evening. How are you going so far, mate?
Yeah, no, I'm going pretty well. Obviously, been a bit busy, been a bit MIA, but I am here now. I made it for the second game, which I'm very happy to be a part of. And yeah, it should be a good game. Should be interesting. I'm very excited to see how this tournament is going to shape up because we are coming down to the end of the group stage now here, or at least for Group A. So it's really going to start defining where teams are going to sit in the seeding here. So I'm really interested to see who's going to come out on top in this match.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, with both of these teams for BDE as well as Poofy Pandas, two teams that are a little bit newer into the game changes scene. So this one very much a tournament where they're just trying to build the reps, trying to get a lot more experience and try to see exactly where they sit over here. So currently, I do believe BDE is sitting at 1 victory and 3 losses. And for Poofy Pandas, they're currently sitting at 0 and 4 at this point in time, I do believe. So it is the final match. As you said, it is going to be the final game on the stream today as well. But I'm actually looking forward to it. As strange it is to say sometimes, K-Man, I do enjoy when I feel like teams that are in a better position to kind of like verse off against each other are kind of like matching, where we're able to get a better gauge versus like, they're versing a team that's established like a Swag Lord or Exto. There's a lot less you can gather, obviously, from those experiences.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's obviously that's what's so good about group stages, though, right? Is you do get that variety of opponent, whereas you can sort of flip that around and say that the favorites of the tournament, you kind of see whether or not they really are favorites in how they perform against those lower seeded teams. So it's always really interesting to see both sides of the coin there. But yeah, I think a match like this definitely will have a lot of its ebbs and flows, especially like you said, when they're two newer teams. It means that because they're not as established or as structured as you might expect from a lot of teams playing in tournaments, there may be a few gaps that you can exploit, and whichever team is going to be able to identify that quickly and sort of take control of the game, that's who's going to walk away with it. Especially in a best of one. Obviously, best of three, you have the adaptations, you have your stronger map that you pick, whereas in this it's BO1, so it's pretty much even playing field. Both teams are comfortable in this map to float it this far anyway. So it's really just going to come down to who gets the read on each other earlier, and then just about simply executing and seeing who can walk away with those clutches. Because we always know in a BO1 there's going to be some big highlights.
Yeah, always some big highlights, some big clutches, a couple of multi-kill frags, and a couple of, I'm hoping a couple of good moments as well. So, and it's a nice way to close off group for us for the first group stage, because obviously we have the second group coming up that's going to be happening next weekend, I believe. Okay. So, and that's going to determine who's going to be making their way into the playoffs over here for Exto Athena series. $1,500 prize pool as well, which is nothing to sneeze at. Decent amount of cash just to be playing Valorant. God, I wish they would give me the cash if I play Valorant that well, but alas, I do not play Valorant well enough to do that, nor do I commentate well enough to get paid that amount of money. So nevertheless, here we go into the agent selection onto Lotus. So we'll kind of have to see whether it's going to be a couple of, I would say, like a pocket picks or like safety picks where players are a little bit more comfortable, or we're going to see a meta over here. So
yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, we're on Lotus, correct? So
yes.
There is a little bit of flexibility in Lotus. That's what I really like about the map, and I think it's why it does get picked. Is that it's comfortable for a lot of teams because it kind of allows you to be a little bit more flexible in your agents. What you want to play, and it also allows you to be a bit more attacking when you're starting on defense. So it does allow you to take control of Rubble or C Mound, whichever one you want to be able to do. And it really does, challenge the opposition to make adaptations. And in my opinion, it's the most interesting map to cast. I've talked to a few coaches and whatnot, and they say, it's kind of getting figured out a little bit more. But with Teo coming into the meta, that obviously adds another layer. And I mean, who isn't picking Teo at the moment? Let's be honest. It's it has changed things up. But yeah, no, I think that this is a map where you really do see the strengths and weaknesses of teams' ability to adapt more than anything.
Yeah, 100%. Because like, if you look at, I'll say like the similarity that I have a little bit of map, where if you look at Lotus and Haven, obviously outside of like the basic 3-site setup, in terms of the rotations, in terms of how it's played a little bit, sometimes it can be very similar, right? With like the ability for attacking side, once they get some key map control, they're able to kind of rotate. But as you said, teams are also able, the defensive side has a lot more flexibility in figuring out where they want to take and trying to figure out exactly when they need to go fight, whether it's towards like A mound or towards C mound, or Rubble over at A and mound over here at C. So But yeah, keen to see how things are going to go. We do have Teho on the side of Poofy Pandas, but on the side of BDE, seeing a Vice in play, that's interesting.
Okay, I currently have a blank screen, so I can't actually see what's going on. So hopefully that does get resolved. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on, but yeah, okay, yeah, Vice coming out. Vice, has been an agent that definitely has become a little bit more in the meta. Definitely one of the strong agents, and it's because of, like I mentioned, with Taylor being in that wall, unbreakable, obviously, is a very key part to a Sentinel setup. It makes it very difficult to deal with. So yeah, that definitely is the key. But yeah, are we into the game here? I'm not.
We are into the game.
On.
I just realized you're not in the lobby, are you?
Okay, no, I'm not.
No, okay, that would explain a decent amount.
Okay.
Okay, that would. So, hang on a second. Well, there should be.
I see a stream. Yes, I see a stream now. You take us away though.
All right. Well, kicking away onto a retake on the A side over here, but a little bit of Guidance Salva is going to come out just to see if they can buy a little bit more space. Obviously, now starting to push forward on the side of Poofy Pandas. But they still need to break this crossfire at the moment. Shadow Step's going to come forward. Sabi's going to come in for the flank play at the moment, but it's just all Neo. Neo's the one that's doing the bulk of the damage. Neo's going to pick up the triple at the end over there and upgrade towards the Sheriff. Are they able to escape the spike explosion, which they are? But it's, sorry, not Poofy Pandas, but PDE that's going to be taking the first round.
Yeah, no, well played there towards backside. Just hanging onto the site there, as I did see the final moments of that round. Yeah, obviously, great play there by Camcast. Getting a 3K as well, obviously, very, very important to win the pistol round here if you are on the attackers. We always know, 3-site map, it's going to be attack-sided, so you want to get to a good start, and it's exactly what has happened here. It looks like it's a bit of a gamble stack coming out from the defenders here towards B here. They want to push out as 5, and it is going to split the map up a little bit with a 4-1 push here, and as soon as going to hear all of this, should be good for a multi-fragment. No, can't land the shots, needs to be safe. And instead, it should just be an open seaside here and a 5v5 post plant.
Yeah, now just actually just looking through the edge of the smoke, seeing if they can get rewarded. But it should surely be Sabi that unfortunately spots out all 5 as they look at her at the same time, and that's never a fight you really want to take. So
yeah, absolutely. It looks like a spike has been planted here. It is a 4v5 situation, and potentially a look for some sort of exit potential here. Defender's going to flood in from C-Mount on the flank, but they're going into a shooting gallery. Milky Way, you're going to get a couple picks there, but looks like the attackers, they are going to clean up here, and it should be clean, but Jules, another exit there. Makes things a bit ugly for the attackers, and that Vandal was downed. It is going to be 2-0, but I'll tell you what, you got to be pretty happy with that as defenders, taking 3 weapons away.
Yeah, keeping the economy in check and just forcing a bit of reinvestments over here. So normally a team, if you get the 3 or 4 weapons in, you can take the bonus or justify the bonus. I think it's a little bit harder over here. Still, though, got the Spectre to work with, a couple of Vandals. I do believe Sabi did buy up a Vandal initially, but decided better of it. Just once again, want to keep their economy in check. As obviously now Poofy Pandas, full Vandals coming into this round.
Yep.
Oh,
there's the Teho.
Yep.
Strikes again. So Suna will fall. And yeah, look, this is the sort of, adaptations that we talk about, right? Is that obviously when you look at this team comp full of defense, it's very, very much about making that aggressive play very early in the round. You want to establish as much control as you can, force the attackers to go in towards the Cypher tripwires or potentially even a paranoia from the Omen. The rest of the team is going to take control of that A rubble. And I mean, here they want to even overextend here towards Sworn. It's a risky play. Is it going to pay off? Just going to not go detected yet.
Yeah, they hear the rotations coming forward, but the Vise wall is going to be tripped eventually, right? So it's going to separate the defenders a little bit. But Spike does go again over at B right now. Bella Mare looking just to see if potentially she can find a bit of a timing. That makes sense. Get no blade. Lines up to And Malachi now stuck on site, trying to get the blind out at the same time, but only a Spectre. It's not going to work out in her favor. It's all down to Milky Way over here at Link with the Sheriff. But now with 5 members looking over here from Poofy Pandas, a flawless round coming out on this retake. Yes, it was a bonus, but still, that's a very, very clean round. And it's going to be putting a lot of confidence into their bank, as well as a lot of money into the economy as well.
Well, I mean, especially with how, you know, that round before started where they did take those true opens away. Now they've just completely cleaned up their opposition here. It's really, really looking good here for defenders. I'd be very happy with that. Flawless retake after taking 3 rifles away on that eco, as I said. Definitely looking in position here to punish. Now, heading into round number 4, you can see the state of the economy of both teams. It's looking a little bit rough here for the attackers. This is almost a must win. I want to say almost. I know it's early in the game to say it, but you do not want your economy to fall behind and, you know, have to spend a couple of rounds rebuilding it. As the attackers on Lotus, you want to be getting aggressive, getting those spikes down, and luckily they have planted on all 3 occasions here, so they are going to set themselves up with a little bit of extra cash.
This is so interesting though, K-Man. We're talking about how like teams can take maybe this the rubble control or the sea mount control. They've actually opted to go for both, right? On the back of the Tejo and the breach over here, they've taken rubble control. And then now they've obviously used the one way over here at Mount to just control that alongside with Cypher. I mean, you got the Shadow Step as well, so you don't have to worry about, oh, by the way, I'm taking a bad engagement. I can just duck out of it. So they're just obviously going to be stacking a little bit more towards the B side of things. Paranoid's going to come out over here at Mount, and Skepno Blade is going to get punished this time around.
Yeah, no, definitely a good punish there. I thought that the breach in towards B main would have been there to punish on that fault line, but instead just took away a bit of information to take down that tripwire, and now they're set up for the Rolling Thunder in towards C. It has been triggered. It's going to be a complete take of this C site. Defenders have no choice but to abandon playing this post plant here in a 4v5 situation, as Paisley is going to have to get out of there, revealing their position with the shot over towards the camera, and Campcast is going to fall. It does give the defense an entry back into this. Poofy Pandas equalizing things, a 4v4 situation. Belame going to be leading the way for their team. Milky Way going to get flashed up there. Great flash to come through the breach utility. Working a treat so far as G also going to clean up for 4. Oh my goodness, it's a frag movie coming out from G. What a play.
Yeah, huge round coming out. Not on the back of just the kills as well, but huge flashbangs as well. I mean, the flashpoints were just on point, right? The blind coming out straight on towards onto the ground, just blinding both members over there, blinding Paisley, blinding Milky Way. No way they're able to fight back in. And then after cleaning up site, it was just a simple swing out towards Mound and just making sure they could take down the 2 remaining members. But now, I mean, Poofy Pandas, very, very confident in the back of a couple of multi-kill rounds of some of these crucial members. Skepno Blade and 7 kills already. Nice and early on. And now G also joining the party as well. And it's down onto an eco finally. I was going to say like eco, but they actually have forced up or semi-forced up over here.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying that it is such a crucial round here for both sides. That round previous where defenders, they have managed to punish and they have managed to, like you were saying, make them force up early. It's a very risky play. It's got to pay off here for the attackers here as Brat Division are looking to head towards this A side. They're testing out all sides of the map, which I do like here about their strategy. They're trying to poke and prod for early weaknesses here and try to get a bit of a roll on in this best of one, as that stealth drone is going to reveal the intentions towards this A side. Already been abandoned. Should it be able to get a spike plant down without too much trouble here? And depends. Are the defenders going to flood retake here, or are they going to play it patiently? We can see them set up for a little bit of utility to come through. The salvo is going to deny the initial plant, but it's a 5v5 situation nonetheless. And Campcast has managed to get himself into a tricky spot.
Yeah, but you got to look over here, right? Rolling Thunder surely is going to be used to the retake over here. A bit of utility as well. Flashpoints being lined up. Rolling Thunder actually not being executed just yet. All the members kind of coming forward. Now the Rolling Thunder going to be used. Neo was going to be the linchpin. Unfortunately going to be taken out. Skepno Blade with 2. Smoke's going to come out as well. Oh, this is going to be so tricky for them trying to take down the bomb diffuser.
Wait, you can't get him off? The smoke was going to go too well there. I think Malachi, It was really unfortunate with the Razor Thorns there. It was used as an attempt to just stall out the attackers, but they kind of disrespected, sorry, the defenders flooding the retake, but they kind of just disrespected it there. G just walked onto the spike, was happy to take 30 damage, was confident in their ability, in the ability of their team to simply clean up and stop anyone trying to get them off the spike. It was very, very well played there by the rest of the team, but yeah, they just straight up walked in, ignored the Thorns, and I guess, you know, the objective of that round is to defuse the bomb. It's exactly what they did.
Yeah, playing to the round of victory point over here. And once again, seeing out control coming nice and fast from Poofy Pandas. More than happy just to stack on the back of the success and maybe just play this retake A once again. But big utility available over here. I was going to say for Pasley, but Skepnoblade goes, nice showstopper. You can't use it this round.
They've missed the one way on the second attempt, but you know, being a player up, I don't think it's going to matter too much here, as we do have a little bit of silence here on the map. And one thing I do think the defense have done extremely well is that their readjustment after this early contact. They've been able to hold these crossfires and really confidently get a read on where they want to retake, and it has paid off. But as I say that, Malachi has found a timing in towards A-Link. Didn't expect the second player though. G will clean things up, and now it is the A side under attack here, as we do have the attackers just taking their time, just slow and steady progress here, as Bell is going to be trapped in towards backside. Spycam at least will reveal a little bit of information here, and oh my goodness! Camcast, an excellent shot there to defend Asuna planting that spike. G, good for a second in the round. It's a 3v2 situation. The attackers are going to be under a lot of pressure here in towards the site.
Oh, from the shadows just being used just to clear out trade, just trying to make sure they get all the information. Great trade coming out, so it leaves it all down here towards Sabby on the 1-on-2. Is going to be smoked off. Snakebite should be utilized for now. Just a delay, but Mummy Panda just straight through the smoke. Too clean.
What a shot through the smoke, as you mentioned. That is a disgusting shot to come out here, but yeah, again, like I said, the retake protocol here has been excellent so far. Poofy Panda is really impressing me here in the way that they are trying to retake these sites, and they look extremely comfortable on this map. And like I said, it is about the way that both teams, you know, are going to get those adaptations in. Obviously, the attackers, they need to try to find a few more picks there. I liked that lurk there from Malachi. Unfortunately, traded out immediately, didn't get full value for the team. But yeah, it's a really, really good setup here from the defense, in my opinion. Their adjustments, their ability to not give up too many fights. If they do lose a player, they simply regroup. They're not going to overswing. They're not going to try to go for the immediate trade. They're just playing good, disciplined Valorant, and well, they're being rewarded with a 4-2 scoreline.
Yeah, and just now playing a little bit more aggressive over here towards A, and it does actually look like A lobby is going to be where the action's breaking out once again. They're looking to go through, or Aftershock just pushing them away a little bit. Paint shells as well, just forcing them back. And Sabi's going to be dropping that smoke wall now. That being said, though, the spike's making its way into B. More than happy just to take this full B side control, as obviously the defenders split onto both C and A.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's just this retake protocol they have. Obviously, the spike plant will go in, but the one thing to contest with is that obviously Malachi does have the Steel Garden available. It can disable all those primary weapons on the back of this retake. When do you want to use it? It's going to be about trying to stall out, but just going a little bit early there. I don't think it's going to catch anyone there.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a couple of key duels over here. Or Skepnoblade. Actually, it's going to be G that's going to be cleaning things up. Showstopper from Pasley, though at least able to neutralize a bit more of a threat. And Sabby now striking in from the flank as well. Mummy Panda just can't get the showstopper to land. The paint shells might be able to turn enough, but Pasley surely has done enough over 3 as she cleans up onto the Rays.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well played there by the Rays. 4K on the round. That is excellently played. The attackers, they finally did get a very, you know, well-established post plan there. I mean, like I was saying, the retake protocols that come out have been excellent, but I think that showstopper in the mix was just that extra bit of firepower needed to continue that dominant streak and really hold down the site there. But Wow, I mean, it's a really interesting map state here because as much as, I do want to compliment how well that postpoint was made, I want to see whether or not it can come out without a big, ultimate ability like that showstopper there. What is their win condition when they don't have that tool available? That's going to be the real question that needs to be answered here.
That being said, though, I mean, I've already liked the adaptation where they decided to actually hit B that round, where they realized that actually is a big weakness. Malachi was able to walk in earlier on. And this time around, From the Shadows being utilized by Neo just to get this control over on mid for now, or on A.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of territory, a lot of respect actually being given. They're aware that Yoma is here, but how they're going to clear her out is a real question. As obviously Mummy Panda as well stuck on the side. It's going to be Neo coming forward, not getting the triple, but it should surely be enough. As Malachi also picks up Mummy Panda on the side, so it's gone for Neural Link going to be used just to give them a chance into here, maybe.
Yeah, look, obviously 2v4 situation here. Defenders now on the back foot, need to retake the site. Skepno has been very good for a couple of key picks in these rounds. We'll see if they can continue it, but it looks like it is just going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Athena will find Skepno. The trade comes through at 15 HP. Bill, I mean, are you just going to save here? No, wants to try to get an exit, but Paisley, an excellent shot coming through. It's 4-all, it's been equalized, and now we're starting to see that adaptations I was talking about that you've got to adjust to within the rounds, just simply disrespecting the space there towards stairs, walking up, and yeah, timeout being called there. I agree with this timeout because I'm not too sure why nobody was watching that staircase. Everyone was util out over towards sort of CT or that B side, top of B. Yeah, everyone was kind of util out facing a wall, and it kind of just enabled the attackers to take all the space essentially for free here. So this timeout definitely does need to come through, just probably addressing the comms issue. Obviously, back-to-back rounds being lost, momentum starting to slip away from you. Call a timeout here. I don't mind it whatsoever. Hopefully the coach can come out with a few decent strategies, a few adaptations, whether or not they want to start playing a bit more aggressive towards B, which we saw in that pistol round, which didn't quite go to the plan. But, if they can try to do something different, try to fight the lurker rather than try to take a head-on contact with the stack, that may be the adaptation they want to come through with. But, yeah, I think for now, it really is just a matter of adaptations coming through here. And I think the attack has done a really, really good job here. Obviously, Brat Division, if you're looking at the sort of the leaderboard coming into this in terms of the win-loss record, probably were slight favorites coming into here as well. But, I definitely think that Poofy Pandas have shown up for this match, having good preparation, good adaptations, and they are being rewarded for it on their defense half for now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, both teams, I feel like being rewarded for some of the prep work and stuff like that. We've been even seeing that the C-site take that we saw earlier on from BDE was very, very solid. And Poofy Pandas, I mean, yesterday I did get to watch them. I think it was they were versing, I believe, Fearless at the time. So
yeah, right.
I think this is a much better showing in terms of what I've seen compared to Icebox yesterday, looking a lot better in terms of the spacing, a lot better in terms of the defensive side, but it's just a site-for-site trade. I feel like I'm watching the pistol round here again, K-Man.
Yeah, I mean, it was what I was talking about, right? That B aggression, I don't know. I guess we're on the same page in the coach. They have called it out, but look, it does seem like this is going to be a round secured, or at least it should be, with a Viper's Pit down on an anti-eco. And maybe it is just going to be too much to handle. You can already see the attackers, the defenders, they are locked out of the site here. And I mean, what are you going to do here? Obviously, pistols in hand, not too much to lose. You might want to go aggressive a little bit to try and take something down, although they have used the Armageddon to come through there. So that is a big, big commitment here, but they're not going to get into the side. I don't know about that call whatsoever. That's an ultimate used and not too much being gained. Milky Way going to absolutely clean up. And yeah, that is a really, really interesting call to use that Armageddon in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily mind the Armageddon being used on the retake over there, getting a bit of space and actually flooding in on the back of pistols and whatnot on the Spectre as well. But I do feel like a little bit of time had ticked away, so they had to then accelerate as a result. And if you don't get the picks especially on the back of the acceleration, then it's going to make it very difficult to play that retake. So I don't necessarily mind the attempts, but obviously it is a big ultimate to use, and now they don't have that for any future retakes over here. They still have the Rolling Thunder, of course, on the hands of Jeet. We saw that being used to great effect over on the A site earlier on. Now 5-4 is going to be the scoreline. BDE back in the lead.
Big fight here. G needs to get out, needs to be safe here. The double satchel coming through, rolling thunder as well. Oh, it's gonna keep Jewel alive for a little bit longer there, the readjustment. But as I do say that, there's a push through the door there from C Mount, and they've cleaned up the attackers. All of a sudden, Mummy Panda good for 3. Malachi will fall, and the Pain Shells get the job done. What a play, the crunch on that B site from C Mount.
Yeah, good play from both sides, right? The attack and the B side, Rolling Thunder look absolutely perfect. The spacing, once again, fantastic to be able to get the entries. But the disruption coming in from C door at the right time, Mummy Panda striking back alongside with Skepno Blade, just buying enough time for, well, I was going to say for the rotation to come forward from Bellamere, but in reality, it was just all they needed for Poofy Pandas was Mummy Panda after all. So
in the name for a reason.
It's in the name. It's in the name. It's in the game for a reason. So. And now, 2 rounds left in the half. Still the big Rolling Thunder to be used actually on the defensive side over here.
Yeah.
And a bit of aggression here into B main. Can Sabi strike over here on the Viper?
It's going to be the key. Oh, gets the first. Looks for a second. Is traded out, but has done the job here. Spike plant going down. 3 players on the flank. And Bell about to be dug out here from backside. Will take down Cavecast though, and that does take the Omen down. No more smokes here. The rest of the attackers, so the rest of the defenders retaking. They are stalled out by the wall at the moment. You're going to see them starting to rush through now as Bell just living towards backside, waiting for their team to show up. And it looks like the Rolling Thunder here is going to be utilized. We mentioned it before, and this is going to be a key ultimate being used. The salvos almost perfectly placed, but Paisley has found a safe spot. Will be taken down in the end. The time is ticking. Malachi will hold on to backside here. Spike is ticking away. They're out of time. The util was just coming through too late again on the retake. And it is 6 on the board here for Brat Division. That is going to be a devastating round to lose. It was, you know, a good protocol there, but again, like we mentioned the round before, just a little bit too late.
Yeah, just the protocols and clearing out rubble over there and just making sure they're dotting all their I's and crossing their T's. It's good to see these protocols being enacted, but the problem is it is just chewing up too much of their time on that post plant where there's just too many angles they need to clear out. So
I need to blow something up.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason we saw the success early in the game was because of how decisive that retake was. It really did just go in. There was full confidence. They just executed nicely. As we are going to see some aggression here towards C, and that is going to work out for the defense. They are going to get an early numbers advantage, 5v4, and we are going to have a post plant here on the B side. Can they continue to retake efficiently? Actually, we are going to see a pivot back towards C here now. It looks like the attackers have completely read this. They're going to get a free plant over towards that C side. Unfortunately, you're not going to have the Viper to enable them to really use that wall, but they are going to have all the space in the world to fight for here.
Yep, and the door's going to be open pretty soon. Milky Way needs to be careful. He needs to get gun out because there's an entire army behind that. Mummy Pandy's going to strike as well. Both showstoppers going to be used against each other for now. Pasley is going to be able to strike and get a pick on towards there. Pasley at close range, trying to land the spray as well, but the flashpoints have been absolutely effective from G so far. All down now to a 1-on-2. Malachi needs to try to strike in from the flank. Misses the first couple of shots onto G. Now the open smoke's going to come forward. Skepno Blade's going to clean up. This time, plenty of time for Poofy Pandas to get the defuse. And the scoreline's going to be 6 apiece coming into the first half. And I feel like that is a pretty deserving scoreline for both teams, I feel like, on how this match has gone.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like watching that retake compared to the previous few where they did run the clock down a bit, they were just overthinking it for me. Like, that was just simply call the util, call the hit, just go. Everyone goes at the same time, foot on the gas, and they just sent it. And, I mean, we see how well that worked out there. It's just that decisiveness, they kind of did lose a little bit of that towards the middle part of that first half, but they got it back towards the end, a 6-all half. Defense are going to be very happy with that. Lotus, obviously, you know, it can go either way. Obviously, it's not necessarily a hard defender or attack sider because of how unique the map is. But I definitely think the attackers are still favored purely based on the fact that there are 3 bomb sites that need to be defended by 5 players. So, yeah, I think defense is going to be very happy going into this second half now. And, yeah, Poofy Pandas, they're definitely set up for success if they can take this C site clean.
Yeah, and being able to do so quite successfully. the Razor Wall actually not being able to delay pretty much most of the team. So
the play with the spike was delayed.
yeah, the play with the spike was delayed a little bit, but not with the rest of the site taker. That's a really good spike fight actually coming out from Sabi. That's a lot of damage being done over towards Jules. Now the paint shell is just trying to deter the waterfall push a little bit more, but Pasley going to be leading the charge. And if you want anyone to lead, she's been the person so far on the duelist. Paranoia as well, absolutely on point, but Bellarmé with the classic responding. Pasley still driving it forward. Pasley just looking to clean up everything by herself. As Milky Way full trust in her teammate.
I mean, Pasley is having an absolute blinder here. Great 4K yet again. The 4K is coming out 19-9 right now on the Rays. Absolutely putting on a clinic. Huge frags to come out here, and that is a very, very good start for Brat Division on this second half. You know, like I said, it was probably leaving a few questions open in that first half, but they are answering them right now. They do win the pistol. They get themselves a pretty nice buffer with this economy. If they can convert this round here and get a 2-round lead, they'll be looking good for the rest of the match.
We'll have to see how this one goes for now. As it does look like for on the side of Poofy Pandas, running it straight back into the C site and testing out Malachi once again. Only 2 here on the side, but Malachi more than happy to play behind this wall for now and just bide the time as the rotations already come forward over here, K-Man.
Yeah, but, you can see there's an extra layer onto that snake bite that was popped on the plant. There's a poison orb there now as well, but Malachi with the stinger will open things up. A first blood for the Vise. Needs to get out of there, needs to be careful, keep the numbers alive. Paint shell's flying in. Look how weak all the players are. The util is too strong. Malachi with the stinger cleaning up for 3. Might overextend here and go down as Mummy Panda will find Paisley, but instead it's a 4K here for the Vise. Excellent shooting there by Malachi, but yeah, that util that just came through. I don't know really how much damage was done from the Vines as compared to the Molly and the the snake bite and the paint shells, but I'll tell you what, that utility was absolutely perfect. Got all the players just so low, and I mean, the Stinger, perfect gun to clean up some low health opponents.
Yeah, I mean, the snake bite, I felt like there's like been 2 rounds in a row now that the snake bite just completely decimated any attempt at the spike plant on the C side. So we might see it once again. We'll have to wait and see. But the 4 kill is actually huge as well because it means that they're just so much closer for the Vise going towards the Steel Garden, which is a very potent retake tool.
Absolutely here as Paisley, good for another one. Just getting so many crucial duels being won by your Rays. It's really, really good to see here for your team. It gives you a lot of confidence, and now the Cypher has fallen. The attackers, you can see, they are looking back towards spawn because they have lost the tripwires. They don't have that security on the flanks. And it looks like at the moment, Paisley is trying to put up a bit of a sound bait here for a teammate. I like the jump spotting here as they are going to switch weapons around. Obviously, looking a little bit low there on the HP. And look at this sound bait. It should work pretty perfectly as... Camcast couldn't quite clean up on the second. Instead, it's a 1-for-1 trade. And now we're into a 3v3. The crunch from the attackers over towards the B site, looking to try and clean up. Not going to find anyone just yet, but Milky Way is going to break the door in towards A link. Here's the players over towards A lobby, though, and with that door opened up, maybe a little bit of a giveaway of their position. Yeah, it looks like it was red very nicely there. Mummy Panda going to clean up Milky Way, and it is going to be a 2v3 situation in the post plant. Malachi just going to be playing patiently here with a stinger, waiting for an overextension, but good discipline to come out from the attackers right now. Was that poison orb is not ideal, but it is going to be up to Brat Division here to try and retake this site with numbers disadvantage. I don't know if my co-caster here is disconnected or not, so I'll continue the cast here. It looks like G is going to clean things up. Beautifully done there off the spike tap. The flash came through, and that's a very, very handy 2K for the breach early in the half. Getting a few ultimate orbs onto your breach, always a little bit of a bonus for yourself, and it looks like we are going to head into this 4th round of the half pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a semi-bonus. Sorry, I'm back. My internet is fantastic because HFC,
internet.
fantastic technology, just decides just to drop out. Yeah, because
we're on brand here with the Aussie internet.
Because why not? And the internet is still continuing to be bad.
Okay. No dramas. Well, it looks like here at the moment, the attackers, they have taken the space towards Rubble. Oh my goodness, Skepto. A beautiful headshot to come through over towards Campcast, and now it's a 4v5 situation here. Defenders on the back foot. Brat Division gonna need to hold the line here. Milky Way is playing this anti-flash in towards Tree, but turns at the worst possible second. G will collect on their opposing breach, and now it is a 3v5 situation. Make it a 2v5 as Skepto has found another. Athena will fall, and now this is just going to be a huge collapse here for the defense. A massive fight won, though, by Malachi over towards that lurk. The Cypher is dealt with, and we do have a 4v2 situation as both teams here vying for control. Still, Garden is used, and it's going to be Paisley catching the players running out of tree. Showstopper now available in towards there. Going to be used. 3k on the round, and it's now all down to a 1v2. Spike is being stuck. Mummy Panda, nothing you can do about it. The paint shell's going to deny, and Malachi cleans up. But Paisley has just ripped open this post plant with a huge 3k there, and it is 9 on the board for Brat Division. What an excellent retake there in a 2v4. All right, that is... You know what? I'm going to have to say it. That was absolute cinema. That's what that was.
Rip and tear.
All right, I'll be back, my friend.
I'm still lagging out at the moment.
Lagging a little bit?
It's
Okay,
fantastic.
no worries.
Yeah, still lagging a little bit. We'll see how we go. Oh, no, never mind. It's
Paisley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paisley gets taken down there by Mummy Panda. It looks like Campcast have to hold the line now. Paranoia will be good for the delay, and Toxin Screen as well. Going to discourage the attackers from initially trying to push through all that utility. This Campcast going to break out Baby Door, just making sure an escape plan is there if needed, but the attackers have already pivoted over towards the seaside. Poofy Pandas want to have a go at Malachi's site now. Solo holding here. No raise for that retake. No crunch opportunity as all that space towards B was taken. It looks like this is going to be an attempted fast hit, but that shear should at least deny a couple of players from getting into the site. We can see it has been used, and the Razor Thorns are going to stall out the plant potential. It allows the defense to get in position here to potentially start some sort of an early pre-take. Instead, it is just silence on the map. Spike is trying to get planted here by G, but will end up falling to Milky Way. Skip no trades, but Athena on the crossfire will take down the Omen. It's a 2v3 situation here. Mummy Panda and Jules do fight back here, but Mummy Panda caught on the reload. Athena can't land it. And Mummy Panda pops the reload, pops the headshot, a 3k there, and all 5 ultimates will be online for the attackers as we head into the next round. That is a devastating round to lose with how much control was gathered by Brat Division. As it does seem like I am here as a solo cast at the moment, while unfortunately Kareth does have internet issues, so I'll do my best to bring you all the action. Again, shout out to the production team. Have been amazing for this event, giving us a lot of clean access here on the observing and the overlays. It's been an absolute pleasure working with them. As we do have Campcast here in towards the B side. Going to try to land that right click. Unfortunately, not going to land, as it will be Bell cleaning that one up, not being first blooded. And Neural Theft available, and may not be the worst idea to use it on an anti-eco, but just trying to find the stack and potentially avoid any sort of a trap. And yeah, it is going to get used here. Neural Theft will reveal the C and the A side are going to be a little bit weaker here, as it will be Skepto. Milky Way's just tried to run up on the B stack. I'm not too sure what was going on there, because that Neural Theft did reveal the exact location, but it is punished, and it is now a 3v5 situation. Malachi again, using these Thorns has been doing very well on the stalling side of things. Doing their Sentinel role nicely, but it looks like at the moment it is going to be what should be a surefire round for the attackers. The 5v3 situation, rifles in hand. But Paisley, the danger player of this match, has a Vandal of her own. Can she utilize it here? Mummy Panda can take down Malachi, but here is the crucial duel. Paisley can open things up here and get access to the spike. It could be winnable for the defenders as well. He's going to swing out, giving one away for free there. 2 satchels in hand. But Paisley instead goes for the dry swing, and it is punished sooner. 1v4 situation. Gets the Vandal, is going to look to get out and save. We have an even game here after 18 rounds. It is going to be 9-all.
Okay, I should be back now, and the scoreline's tied apiece, so hopefully I haven't missed much. I know like some of these rounds have been really good, but I love my internet, man, K-Man. Sorry about that.
No, mate, listen, it's all good. Listen, I haven't casted for a while, so it's good to, get a few reps in here.
That's it.
It's not really an OCE event without something going wrong on the tech side, you know what I mean? Like, tech is always going to have something going on. It's always a pleasure, though. You know what? This has been a very, very good match. I think that both teams really, have had this back and forth this whole time. Obviously, these post plants here are just coming down to the wire, and I think, unfortunately, at the moment, there just isn't too many early frags here. We were seeing this a little bit by Brat Division on their attack half, where they did look a little bit lost trying to find those early mid-round picks. It really did start to screw them over a little bit, and that round there on an anti-eco, fair enough, you're not going to, you're not going to win probably 75% of your anti-ecos, your eco round, sorry, I think it's fair to say. You might win one every match, which is probably, a fair estimate, but yeah, I think that both teams here, they have had this back and forth, but it really is up to the defense now to get a bit more proactive. You can see how much space they have here towards this A site. They should know the C hit's incoming. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of pressure towards spawn and potentially taking down these tripwires and backing off, just stalling out these lurks, but instead it is the C site being taken, but Mummy Panda's gone in solo. Malachi has punished, and Milky Way gonna find the spike. G is gonna fall, and now we do have the Razor Thorns available as well. It looks like Milky Way gonna just confirm no one is on the site at the moment. A 3v5 situation, and that from the shadows was already popped. They cannot recover this spike unless they walk into the crossfire.
30 seconds left.
It's going to be a difficult crossfire once again. Just have fun. But the flashpoint's already been lined up for the play over here. You can see it's like Milky Way is just prepared at this time just to try to out or anything, so it might just have to be a save over here.
10 seconds
Arcros, I think, just barely missing some of the timing, but you can see Milky Way is just lining up the Rolling Thunder, 100%ing the round. There is no way that you're going to win on the back of this. Skepno Blake can get the kill, but not the spike plant.
Yeah, a couple nice shots there coming out from Skepno, but as you said, time has ticked. It's 9-10, and yeah, that stalling out there is going to come through. It's second timeout and final timeout being called here by the coach. Needs to have a word to the teammates here, Poofy Pandas. They need some adaptations here. Just ran the clock down too far on that occasion. As we will take, hopefully, a look at the scoreboard here. And sort of just see what the alt economy is looking like.
I mean, you still got the big showstopper ready over here for Raze at the moment, so it's as well as the Rolling Thunder in the hands of G. So it's still definitely something here for the Poofy Pandas really to work with, right? Obviously, Skepno Blade as well, kind of like matching firepower-wise with Pasley, blow for blow at this point.
Yes.
But I mean, going back a little bit to the point where you were talking about how a lot of the teams are a bit hesitant. I found like a lot of the upcoming teams, because you're a bit more afraid of making mistakes. You're a bit hesitant of, everything needs to be perfect. They're letting perfection kind of be the enemy at this point of just kind of committing in and just going, well, we just got to go in on the back of this. We got to just go how well we can. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just needs to be good enough.
Yeah, no, look,
I feel like that's where a lot of the timing,
a lot of the teams, once they do get in newer together, they try to stick to their theory as best they can. And I think that is, sort of what you're talking about, and just being a little bit, trying to play it too by the book. Obviously, situations do change, and in a BO1, you have to be flexible. It can't really be this solid game plan that you just got to stick to constantly. You've got to make adaptations. You've got to make adjustments. And yeah, I do agree.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, adjust to that. Just stop jumping, I guess. Just disable your spacebar, Paisley. I don't know. That is a disgusting shot to come through from Bell to start things off. Athena will at least have the line secured, so it's not going to be a panic rotate. But it's probably going to need to be called pretty soon here. Athena not going to land the shot. Just couldn't quite get the crosshair in the right spot. Bell opens up with a second towards his A side as it will be Mummy Panda taken down by a friendly fire breach rolling thunder. And Camcast will at least make it a 3v4, somewhat winnable, but Skepno too sharp on the shots there. It is going to be a 4v2 situation. We did see a retake happen exactly like this in the previous half. Can Brat Division replicate what Poofy Pandas did here?
Have to see what Milky Way does. Aftershock just going in towards Tree at the moment, but two members just watching her as soon as the smoke fades. All down to Malachi at the moment, and Jules has the guided salvo out, ready to just deter anything from drop off. And at that point, just too many members over here for Poofy Pandas, for Malachi to deal with. So once again, the scoreline just going back and forth, 10-10 apiece. But really, that round just blown right open by Bell Amare, who just gets a couple of fantastic shots. Especially that one on the jumping Pasley. Pasley just jump spotting for information. The only information that she got was Bellamay can shoot.
Absolutely, yep. No, that was a absolute blinder to open things up there from the attackers, and yeah, 10 all being the score. All of a sudden, defenders forced over towards an eco, and this is why we do say that this map is attacker sided. You do tend to start snowballing. You've got to, really commit bodies into the plays as defenders, and because of that, you do tend to lose a couple more rifles, and you do have to invest more round to round as Bell. Going to be good for another one, but that's a massive trade there. Paisley has taken down the Cypher. The pivot goes in towards the B side, and now Paisley is going to hide over towards Spawn here. The attackers are going to be forced to at least try and clear this somewhat, but Paisley, if you can get another one here, this could be huge. The spike has been dropped at Mummy Panda. A very, very clean trade, a 3v3 situation now. Defenders, they are split up around the map here. The B site still is left completely open here. It's just the smoke discouraging the players. So we'll have some sort of a pivot here towards this A site. Athena, are you able to deliver here for your team? Timing, oh no. Back turn at the worst possible moment, and Jules is going to get rewarded a 3v2 with an open A side, a Bucky and a Marshall up against 3 rifles. You would think Poofy Pandas should be able to convert this position.
Yeah, going to be very, very difficult. Might actually be worth heading over in towards B main and maybe trying to grab some of those rifles as upgrades coming into the next round, but they're still going to persist forward. A lot of members stacked over here into Tree. The problem is no utility really to deter this. Paranoid's going to come out. They're going to give it a good crack. Neo going to be dropping that smoke over there. This could be a huge round coming out from Malachi, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as the salvos are going to come through. The Bucky in the smoke is going to get one, but that's going to be about it. But, oh, Kevgar's just sticking it. Got to be careful. It's the satchel that ticks down and wins the round. In the end, that was looking very dangerous there, 11-10. And the attackers, they will walk away with it. A couple of rifles to spare. And yeah, you do see now the defense, they will be able to force up their rifles, but the money is very, very scarce here. Paisley, with that showstopper, needs to get impact in one of these next 2 rounds, as well as the Steel Garden thing online as well. 2 massive ultimates, and they both really have to deliver if they want to get towards at least, securing 12 rounds in regulation.
Shadows traveling.
That being said, though, the money as well for Poofy Pandas is fantastic right now. They can buy for the rest of the half over here. Pasley looking just to make the impact happen with the Vandal. So good for one for now, but taking out Skepnoblade is actually a huge pick, because taking out the Omen over there means that there's no smokes for them to use.
Where did that paint shot go? I don't know how that's happened. I mean, listen, man, I coach cricket. I couldn't tell you how to throw that. That was that was insane. Well done, I suppose. But yeah, it is a 4v5 situation here. Defenders are going to go overextending slightly. Campcast, that's a bit of ill discipline, and it is punished as the C site's now opened up, and that little mistake there could spell disaster for the remainder of this map. 3v4 situation. Now, obviously, a couple of players are a bit low as compensation here for the defense, but the B site is going to be the choice of the post plant. Malachi needs to use the steel guard and will do so, and it's going to be a quick flood to come out from the defenders.
Yeah, and instantly punishing Bellamere, who's just stuck on site over there. But they have one player in B Link at the moment. Mommy Panda, though, is going to be taken down. Sabi's going to be sticking the defuse over here. G just can't seem to land it. No utility for them to use. Finally killed at the last moment. But Milky Way is going to come through and get the trade just in time. Milky Way going to have to jump into the defuse over there. The Steel Garden comes in absolutely clutch. So a bit of a roller coaster round, but still 11 found over here for BD8. Bring the scoreline tied once again. Might be heading to overtime over here, K-Man. The game's definitely close enough that it should be, honestly.
I mean, certainly. I mean, if you're looking at, the economy here, I'd say that potentially you could argue that Poofy Pandas are in this better spot here. And, I mean, Ultimate's looking like, you've got Mummy Panda 2 orbs away from the Showstopper. You've got, obviously, the Armageddon still is online, ready to use. A lot of round-winning ultimates coming online, and a big one invested there from the defenders. They were able to clean up, crucially, and Paisley still has that Showstopper available. So this game is definitely in the balance. Overtime, definitely a potential to be on the cards here, but I'll tell you what, I think it's going to come down to who times their ultimate best. I really think that there's just so many big potentials for utility to be used here. It's really going to come down to the decision-making of both attack and defense of when to use them.
Or maybe just a Bucky holding it close range over here. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but that's actually still the showstopper that's going to be going down.
I think
so.
Yeah, I definitely think the attackers will be very happy with that trade. A raise for a raise in this type of situation with how destructive the utility can be. So it is a 4v4 now, and it looks like at the moment the attackers, I think they might want to pivot in towards the B site. We can see them pause outside of that smoke. They're waiting for Bell to try to cook some sort of space here and, potentially get some sort of a timing as they use the Toxic Scream to cross. And it looks like the attackers instead, they want to go all the way towards this C side as we do have the defenders here in time. Malachi, though, only a stinger to be used. Gonna need to try and be careful. Rolling Thunder is committed. That is a huge commitment, as well as the Armageddon. It's not gonna find anyone. And Malachi, if you just hold left click right now, would be cleaning up one of the freest kills of their life, but unfortunately doesn't have that information. It is gonna be coming down to the clock ticking away. 10 seconds left. Ticking down lower and lower. Needs to be a flood. Get them off the plant, but no, they can't do it. Instead, the attackers have just shot back. Headshots coming through for them all, and Malachi has slipped into such a good position here. This could be devastating if you're able to get a couple of freebies. There's the first, looking for the second. Can't quite find anyone, though. Nobody's giving any sort of fight here. Malachi going to tap the spike, getting off. Going to find a second, but G to trade. And it's Poofy Pandas to go to match point.
Yeah, match point brought up, and this is actually a very ideal moment as well, because you look at the money. The economy for BDE isn't fantastic.
Yep.
Yes, they can get Vandals and Phantoms with some of these members, but Neo has to go down towards a Sheriff, Spectres, and a Bulldog. This is not how you want to be coming into the final round of regulation. In the meantime, though, Poofy Pandas, everything to work with. And now, that being said, though, 2 big ultimates did have to be invested in that round.
Yep.
So, can Milky Way's Rolling Thunder make some impact over here?
I mean, Mummy Panda's ultimate really is going to be the win condition here, I would say. Has been very good. Both raises, I think, full credit to them. Both raises have been phenomenal. I think that they've used their showstoppers at very, very nice times and gotten a lot of impact. So we'll see if they can replicate it to win the match. But on the other side of things, you have a showstopper and a Rolling Thunder available for a retake. So this is a very, very dangerous round for both sides. You do not want to get punished by this rocket. Essentially, don't get blown up. That's the objective of this round.
Well, Neo has to be very, very cautious. He's playing with fire right now. Oh, as Neo is able to capitalize on a huge shot on towards Mummy Panda. As the showstopper doesn't find anything towards Heaven, now Malachi just has to drop the Razor Vines just to delay for a little bit more time. Guided Salvo is pushing Milky Way out of the way. But still, they're no closer to the site
escaping.
right now.
They're escaping. They're running away. They're getting
Look at the
out.
position of Cypher.
Yep, the lurk has called it, and it's going to be a rotate towards the A site. Yeah, no pivot towards B. I love this call. Just go as far away as you can from the shadows is going to be used, and Bell in an excellent spot here should be good for at least one, hopefully two. If you could time the swing properly here, it's going to be cleared out. They know that there's got to be someone deep. Someone has given the information of how open this map was. But this timing is excellent. Bell should be able to find a freebie in towards spawn and will be able to do so. But on the site, Paisley found one of the showstopper Milky Way as well. The trades will be going back and forth. It's down to a 2v1. Jules, full blind, hits the shot on Milky Way. And it's all down to this. A 1v1 for the map. A 1v1 for the series. Can Poofy Pandas get their first win of the bracket right here? It comes down to Jules with the salvos. Will use them already here. It's a very early use of them. Stealth drone is available though if you want to use it, but the spam isn't going to connect. Athena is going to stick the spike, and it looks like the shots are not landing. Jules just sticks it all the way. Sorry, no. Asuna sticks it all the way. Jules continuing to shoot on that wrong angle, couldn't find the shots, and we head to overtime.
Yeah, I mean the Viper's Pit just doing enough there, and a little bit of nerves, a little bit of pressure, getting the better, I would say, of Jules at that point. As you correctly pointed out, Stealth Drone was available, but in that moment, it's very difficult because you're worried about everything that's going on right now in front of you.
Yep.
You're scared if you pull out utility right, maybe the Sabi Asuna is going to be pushing in towards you. Maybe she's going to be close, and it's Occam's razor, right? As soon as you pull out utility, that's exactly when they swing out of smoke. Absolutely. So you can't really fault her for that.
Nah.
Ultimately, it's like, we've got God vision. Of course we can say, why didn't she do this? Reality.
This is why we're casting, okay? It's very easy to say this stuff. I don't have to prove it, all right?
Exactly. But no, it's like one of the things, as soon as you pull out utility at the wrong time, you could get swung out. It's very, very risky. So Robo control now being taken in overtime over here by Poofy Pandas. But a slow default coming out from BDE.
Yeah, definitely is. We are going to see the stealth drone clearing all the space towards A. It's such a heavy stack here. 4 players towards this A site. Campcast should be at least communicating. There's got to be at least 3 players here. You would have heard the amount of utility that was used. And that does mean the C side is the weak side, and it has been correctly identified here for Brat Division, who do have a little bit of momentum.
I was going to say Tripwire was broken towards B main, and now the push is coming forward. Oh, the fault line's going to find Pasley. Now the counter flank's going to come forward from Neo at the same time. Neo's doing a bunch of different work, but still it's a 3-on-2 with the plant going down in C.
Yeah, it looks like Milky Way. This is risky here. Pinged up by the camera, but not punished. We'll manage to get out here, and now Milky Way. 1 orb away from a Rolling Thunder. If you can isolate potentially Bell here, you could deny this entire retake, but instead it's going to be util being used. Either way, Bell caught in the crossfire. Athena didn't swing. Now left in a 1v3. Needs to do it all from this position, and the swing is perfect. Bell is going to clean things up, and it is 13 on the board. Sorry. As Poofy Pandas, they get their second crack at match point.
Switching sides. Match point.
Gosh, this has been a fun match. I've really, really enjoyed this one. Surely we don't curse it by saying we want more overtimes, but yeah, I mean, that was a push in from A lobby just at the right time. Maybe a bit of miscommunication as they were setting up for a B main take. Didn't really hear that one out, and by the time it was already called, the fault line comes forward, so let's see where Poofy Pandas decides to take their attack. Does look like Skepnoblade's looking to just shadow step over there towards Rubble to contest it.
Great paint shells there. They've been super impressive there. You can see the damage that has come through. Poofy Pandas 7 HP. I saw that was excellently placed. Let's give it an early advantage here, but Pace is in a bit of trouble here. Teammates will be in support, and looks like we'll be managing to escape towards Baby Door. Yes. So a 5v5 situation. Paisley stays alive.
They're now just slowly droning this out at the moment. They do have this lurk that's coming out from Bellarmé at the moment. As you can already see, the camera's been deployed on the B side. They spotted out at least one player over here, but Neo's striking at the right time. Now the fault line's coming forward. Pasley pressure, still good for one. Still means that the numbers advantage over here for BDE, as now it looks like the strike is about to happen on the B side.
Yeah, Moe Panda just 7 HP as well. Can't really satchel in and go crazy like that. Just one straight bullet. All it's going to take here, Moe Panda needs to find a clean, isolated 1v1. Try to not get traded out and give somewhat of an even chance for the team. But we have 30 seconds left. Time is ticking. Decisions need to be made. They're just stalling themselves out as they are trying to find someone overextending here, as it is going to be the smoke coming through towards a link. Camcast with the paranoia is going to attempt to try to get a little bit more information with the shadow step, and that's enough to force them in towards the A site as Malachi cleans up with a 3K. What a spray down for the Vice. It's 13 all. They're going double OT.
Yeah, that's just trusting your team, right? Patience coming out from the Sentinels, trust coming out as well in your teammates. Not pulling the trigger, not rotating, just holding on. And that's like something that's so important as a Sentinel player. Just being in the right position at the right time, not over-rotating. And Malachi felt like she's played quite well so far. Honestly, anchoring down some of the sites and dropping the utility at the right time, utilizing that utility in the right place, and finally being rewarded in a very, very instrumental 3-piece to clean up another round of overtime and to bring it into double overtime.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think Sentinel at the moment in this current meta is, you know, either the second hardest or the hardest role to play at the moment because of just the amount of utility you have to deal with. Obviously, playing the Cypher is a very risky decision to do. Obviously, the tripwires are so vulnerable in this meta right now. There's just, like I said, there's so much utility, so much explosions going off. It's very hard to put anything anywhere to sort of preserve the site. So I think that, you know, the Sentinels working extremely hard here, and Malachi finally rewarded with a highlight there to save the match. A lovely 3K spray down, and we head to double OT here. Both teams on the back of this timeout. I don't know what's going to be called here. I mean, we've had 26 rounds of Valorant. What has been cooked up by the coach here? This is going to be so interesting. This is going to be one of the craziest rounds, I think, that we've seen in this match so far. Round 27, your coach is calling a timeout for a strat. I want to see what it is.
Oh, looks like they might be trying to take towards A side over here for Poofy Pandas.
They're trying to bait out that it was a stack there. 3 places of utility used towards the A side. They pivot towards B. It's creative. But now this push here should give it away. Is Malachi a great pick there? It's a 1-for-1 trade, though. And that should allow the attacks to accelerate towards the A side.
Yeah, they know at least there's enough presence over there. Huge point to mention, though, is that Breach doesn't have any of the flash points left after that. So it is a decent amount of investment just to clear out one flank.
Yep.
But now going just through door into treat, they'll be able to get the spike plant down quite easily on. It's going to be an open plant as well over here. They're deciding better of it.
Huge here for Paisley. Needs to go huge. Gets the first. Looks to the second. Traded out, though. My Panda getting it taken down as well. Now it's a 2v3 situation. Both players in towards stairs. Campcast. Gonna shadow step their way on out of the way of that stealth drone. Going to keep the abilities online for a little bit longer. 2v3 situation. Bell and Jules in towards backside, trying to clear out their opponents. 2v3 situation. Are they aware of the Omen's position? It doesn't look like it at the moment. An easy pick onto the diffuser. Both players caught by the fault line, but Milky Way cleans things up. 14-13. Is this going to be the final round of the match? This has been very, very hard fought the entire time. And unfortunately, there that defense play just to sort of, like I said, bait that stack out towards the A side and pivot towards B. It was swiftly punished.
And I think maybe a little bit of impatience now coming out from Poofy Pandas as well on the defensive side, starting to try to force the issue a little bit more instead of just allowing, I guess, BDE to kind of come into their grasp in that round. So sure, it was a 4-on-4, but a lot of utility being utilized just to even get that pick.
Yeah.
So now Poofy Pandas just grouping up. Here we go. B side hit as Neo is just going to be fading out of there. They're going to be playing retake here.
Absolutely, but On match point, backing yourself to do a 5v5 retake. I think, like I said, both teams' retake protocols haven't been too bad, but Athena's got to wake up. Athena caught sleeping at the wheel. Mummy Panda will take him down towards C lane. Camcast at least will take down the Cypher. Milky Way trying to hold the line. Will trade out the Raze, but G taking down Milky Way. It's a 3v3 situation. Malachi's perfectly timed the swing. This round is absolute chaos, and it comes all down to this, Kara. Is this going to be the final nail in the coffin as Paisley takes out Jules, and now the double satchel comes through. 3v1, Camcast planes it up, and that will be the match. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I tried to pass it back to you there, mate, but oh my goodness, it just popped off.
No, it was just action after action, right? We thought it was going to be a B-side play, and then eventually it was just straight through into Waterfall. They kept the train going. It was just fight after fight after fight. BDE do manage to take it in double overtime, but I have to say, though, really well played by both teams. I really enjoyed that one. I feel, commiserations to Poofy Pandas. It was a very, very close game. There was a couple of rounds they might have been able to clinch the match, but I feel like this is definitely showing like both teams very, very equal in terms of ability, very equal in terms of the kind of like how they were reading each other, setting the pace, a couple of clutch rounds, everything we really wanted this game to be. We definitely got rewarded with it. So unfortunately, as we always say, there has to be a winner and a loser. Yes. And I don't know. I don't feel like I'm anywhere today. That was actually a really good match to watch.
Yeah, I think especially in from what you were saying as well about both teams being very new to the scene, very very new teams that are are up and coming. They are just trying to get themselves set in. I'm actually very impressed with the way both teams played. I think that it's one of those games where we actually saw both teams get better. Like one team, it was obviously a very very good start by Poofy Pandas, and then it was brought back a little bit by BDE. And I think that once BDE started bringing it back, you then had Poofy Pandas try to jump up and outdo them. And we really did see both teams try to it was almost like a game of chess. One team would, try one strategy. It would start working. All of a sudden, it would be countered on the other side. And there was those adaptations coming through that, we were talking about we wanted to see. And I'll tell you what, overtime was the only way to justify that match ending because both teams, I think, played very, very solid Valorant. There was a lot of good ideas there, and I think both teams should be very proud of themselves, regardless of the result here, because that really did show that there is massive potential for both these teams.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because we're looking at it as, once again, the beginning step of this entire journey that we're looking at. So we're not expecting it to be, okay, cool, we're expecting you to be playing at VCT level with all these executions. They're already starting to get a lot of the pieces together in terms of the utility use, in terms of understanding when to rotate and things like that. So, and more of that's just going to be coming over time.
Yeah.
But
I think
that is
the quickness of the decision making as well. I think that's the key. Once they get a few reps in, playing a tournament like this is excellent experience. You get 4 series playing in, under pressure with casters, with people watching and stuff. You build up that experience bit by bit. You're only going to get better from there. And I think that's like I said, full credit to both teams there. They starting their journey out very solidly. I think both teams fundamentally definitely do understand the game, which I think a lot of teams do struggle with initially. I think the fundamentals were pretty solid. It's just being able to make those split-second decisions, and when things do go a bit chaotic, you've got to have a backup plan, and you've got to instantly switch to it. You can't just go by the book constantly, and if they can do that, they're going to very quickly start to trouble a lot of teams.
Yeah, exactly. We're already starting to see like a little bit of it, right? Like these rounds where they're able to trouble the teams. It's just about stringing that together into that consistency, and they're going to be able to get better and better from here. So, but yeah, that is it for tonight. That's all the games done for Group 1, including all the other streams. But before we do decide to close it, any final words, K-Man? I know we got you on one map, and I kind of died through half of it. So
hey, listen, mate, just another day at the office in OCE. That's about it. Listen, no, look. Obviously, very, very grateful to Exsto for inviting me to cast these games. Like I said, sorry about being MIA earlier on, but things have been very busy, but we are here. I'm so happy to be casting Valorant again. It's been such a treat here, and we were treated to an absolutely brilliant game there. I think both teams, like I said, already said it before, just full credit to them. I think they both played their hearts out. They both were so good in so many different moments. I think, there's a lot of potential here in both these rosters, and I'm so looking forward to how these teams are going to end up in a few in a few tournaments time, even, you know, just with a few more reps in, when they're fully settled and fully established, they're going to be looking good, I think. I think there's a lot of positive cards.
Absolutely. You're looking at this from a couple of months from now. Who knows where these teams are going to be? And the game changer scene inside Oceania is just looking better and better than ever before. We're looking at 10 teams signing off for tournaments like the Exsto Athena series where people are competing for 1,500. So really keen to see more in the future. But that is it from us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. We won't be having any games tomorrow. If you're looking for more Exsto Athena game changers action, it's going to be coming next Friday. Once again, we're going to be starting with Group 2 to be seeing who's going to be joining us in the playoffs. Until then, everyone, take care. Have a good night. Make sure you sub to Tosca's channel because I know we're on Tosca's channel. It's very cheap. You should sub towards her so she can get the dream of buying a PC that the stream doesn't blow up on. But until then, take care. Everyone have a great night and we'll see you next time.